When we are 4 or 5 years old, we hear the story about the bunny ears and how the rabbit goes around the bush and down the rabbit hole and magically leaves our shoelaces tied. But what if suddenly you couldn't do that anymore? What if you couldn't hold your hands still enough to tie your own shoelaces? Could only walk with an imbalanced shuffle or make slow, unstable movements? These symptoms are characteristic of a disease that affects 7 to 10 million individuals worldwide, with 60,000 new diagnoses in the United States alone each year. There is no cure, and the incidence of this disease increases with age. It is the second most common neurodegenerative disorder in the world, Parkinson's disease. So how does the disease manifest itself? Well, let's say our imaginary friend, Mr. X, is 52 years old and has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. This means that the neurons in the substantia nigra region of Mr. X's midbrain are dying. Normally, these neurons release an important neurotransmitter known as dopamine, which is crucial for regulating reward-motivated behaviors and motor control. However, neurodegeneration leads to a lack of dopamine, and so there is a loss of control over motor behaviors. What could be a logical possible solution? Maybe increasing the levels of dopamine? And that is why levodopa carbidopa preparations are the most potent and common PD treatments available today. They're much like dopamine supplements for the brain. However, these medicines only provide symptomatic relief. Prolonged levodopa use leads to involuntary twitching, which is associated with PD patients, and these medications are moody, which means that they can spontaneously stop working. This is the best medication that there is available for PD patients, and it has a series of side effects. So our lab began to consider the idea of a more natural treatment. Now, I know that we've all criticized and doubted our grandmother's chicken noodle soup remedy for the cold. However, scientists have found that the broth of the soup has anti-inflammatory properties that can help heal symptoms of the common cold. This means that there's scientific evidence in support or saying that there is some reality and truth to these natural remedies. Chinese culture has utilized herbal remedies since ancient times, and many of these concoctions have proved very beneficial. An important formulation is jisukang or JSK. A few years ago, there was anecdotal evidence suggesting that JSK could be effective in improving conditions for PD patients. Our lab's questions to this evidence were, could JSK potentially protect neurons in the substantia nigra region of the brain? Could it halt PD progression? And if so, how does it work? Working with these questions, our lab is utilizing a pre-established rat model in which Parkinson's is induced in the rats using paraquat, which is essentially a herbicide, and JSK treatments are administered, following which the brains of the rats are assessed for neuroprotection. The structures we would like to examine are microglial cells, supportive cells that are activated in response to inflammation. All diseases have some level of inflammation, and so we would like to assess the role of JSK in activating microglial cells, which can release factors that will go back and potentially reduce the inflammatory effects of Parkinson's disease. Our ultimate hope is that this holistic herbal approach will give us the best of both worlds, an effective treatment for a devastating neurodegenerative disorder and no side effects. Thank you.